Yo, it looks pretty dope, right? I wouldn't do that to myself.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Happy Saturday. If you don't know me, my name is Ariel Munoz. I'm the general sales manager here at Paragon Honda. I see a lot of new.
Who?
Yeah, Ariel Munoz. I'm general sales manager here at Paragon Honda. I'm pleased to see a lot of new faces. Today we have a special treatment guest speaker, somebody very, very close to me. He's the mindset coach, Jermain Miller. I've been meeting with Jermain pretty much every single week since January 1st, and one time a week, and it's about an hour out. And I've been able to develop myself in a lot of different ways, how I feel, as far as personal life, business, and spiritually. And he's done a lot for me. I believe that he has a lot in store for all of you, and I hope you're able to take some golden nuggets from this. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Jermain Miller. Morning, everyone. Morning. Happy Saturday. There's two house rules that I just want to get knocked out of the way to help me out. They're a little Twitter out of the way Saturday morning. But first, I want you to do something. I want you to put your cell phone on vibrate. When you're present, but I want you to put your cell phone on vibrate. And the second thing I want to do is just let you in on a couple of affirmations that I do every morning. So if I can get you guys to stand up. I want you to repeat this after me. I'm a magnet to money. I now have more than I need.
I'm a
magnet to money.
I'm a magnet to money.
Money loves me.
Money loves me.
I'm a magnet to deals.
I'm a magnet to deals.
I now have more than I need.
I now have more than I need.
I'm a magnet to deals.
I'm a magnet to deals.
Deals love me.
Deals love me.
I'm a magnet to peace.
I'm a magnet to peace.
I now have more than I need.
I now have more than I need.
I'm a magnet to peace.
I'm a magnet to peace.
Peace loves me.
Peace loves me.
I'm a magnet to happiness.
I'm a magnet to happiness.
I now have more than I need.
I now have more than I need.
I'm a magnet to happiness.
I'm a magnet to happiness. Happiness loves me.
As Ariel said, I have done myself as a mindset coach. Just a little backdrop about me. Years ago, probably about 13 years ago, I found myself in a position that I really didn't want to be in life. I was homeless, sleeping in cars, people's houses, and I had to make a decision. I'm 25 years old, American male, got every reason to do well in life, but I found myself struggling, begging. Actually, I was talking to Ariel this morning. We had a 7 a.m. coaching session, and I was reading Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And one of the things he said in Think and Grow Rich, in the persistence chapter, actually, he said, life will give any beggar a cup of coffee and a bagel. That's where I was at. I was begging. I had no control over my life. I had no control over my finances. I had no control over anything. Has anybody ever been there before? Like you just losing everything and slipping. That was me. I'm 25 years old. Now, here's what happened. It didn't happen overnight. It was errors in my judgment, some decisions that I made. But it stemmed from something that happened that I couldn't get over. See, I had a goal. Does anyone have a goal in here? Some goals. I want to do something special for somebody. I wanted to do something special for somebody. Who I wanted to do something special for was my grandmother. My grandmother, she raised me. She made a commitment to me when I was born that she would stop smoking cigarettes. That was her commitment to me. And she lived in Harlem in the 80s. She raised me in the 80s and 90s in Harlem. And if anybody knew what Harlem was in the 80s and 90s, it wasn't a good place to be at. So my goal, which I didn't know at the time, was I wanted to take her out of those drug-infested streets, buy her home. That was my goal. So I promised her, I'll go to school, I'll get good grades, I'll be the best I could be, and I'll be the first person in my family to go to college. That was my commitment to her. But what happened at my second year in college is we discovered something. She had lung cancer. Cancer, in 7 different languages, is the most feared word. So when we found out that she had cancer, something in a part of me, it started to fade. I felt like once she had cancer, she was going to go away. So I said, you know what, I'm smart enough, so I dropped out of college. One of my many bad decisions I made early on in my life, I dropped out of college, came back, and her cancer kind of ripped through her. And I was sharing this story recently about wherever you are, be there. And so I had no idea that the cancer was so bad that I took for granted the moments that my grandmother was still here. And so I remember having a conversation with her on the phone, and she was a little incoherent. And I said to her, I'm going to see you on Mother's Day. And Mother's Day was like 4 days away. I could have went to the hospital any time. But 4 days away, Mother's Day, I figured I'll put it off. I don't need to go see her right now. And one pet peeve we had when we were growing up, from when I first started speaking on the phone with her, was I wouldn't hang the phone up without saying I love you. That was our commitment to each other. But for some strange reason, I'm so caught up in everything that was going on in my world, I forgot to tell her I love her. Unfortunately, that was the last time I spoke to her. And it hurt me, and it pained me. And for 6 years after that, I stood on the sideline and I was parked. I let my dreams go by, I let my goals go by, until one day I realized that on the day that I buried her, I buried my dreams and my goals. Well, fast forward you to the decision I made, because I was living check to check, and I had 93 cents in my account, and I had to make a decision because, see, Einstein once said, your imagination is your preview of things to come. And I didn't have an imagination. In fact, the only thing I could imagine was trying to get through the day. I couldn't see myself 5 years, so I had to make a decision. What was this decision that I needed to make? I had to start imagining that I can be more than what I was at that particular time. So I called a friend. I said, my friend's name was Mike. I said, Mike, I need you to do me a favor. He said, well, what's the favor? I said, I want to get into real estate, but unfortunately, I don't have the money to start a real estate course. It's $250. I'm 25 years old, and I don't have $250. I had to borrow this. That hurt me, and it pained me that I'm 25 years old. Earl Nightingale in The Strangest Secret, they did a study with 25-year-olds. They took 100 of them, and they said, at 25 years old, do you want to be successful? Everybody raised their hand. If I asked everybody in here today if you wanted to be successful, how many people would say, I want to be successful? We all raise our hand.
I just want to be 25.
That's what these people did. They all raised their hand. But by the time they were 65, 1 was wealthy, 4 was rich, 5 was still working, 36 was dead, and 54 was broke. How did that happen? Well, I'll tell you how it happened. They never decided what they really wanted. So they spent their whole entire years going after things that they really didn't want. And that's what happened to me. I started going after stuff I really didn't want. So I figured that it started with a conversation that I may be having in myself. See, we have what they call inner conversations. The inner conversation is the conversations that's going on inside of us, the mental conversations. And these mental conversations that we have, they're typically argumentative. You can't really do that. Someone is much more greater than you. If you step out there and try to achieve your dreams, you'll fail. That's the conversations that we're having all day long. I'll give you an example. 4:45 in the morning, my alarm clock rings. And I made a commitment to run outside every morning. I live in Long Island City. I'm going to Central Park. But now the weather has changed. And at 4:45 in the morning before, I would get up because one reason is I know the sun is going to come out. And anytime anybody's in darkness, things start to feel a lot better when they know that there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. Things aren't really too good for you when you're trapped in the darkness. And I'm saying that to say I would get up motivated to run because I knew at 5 o'clock in the morning, by 5:25, the sun will start coming out, and I'll be a little bit more motivated because I can see the sunshine. Now the sun doesn't come up to 6:30. And what happens is the inner conversations in my head start to say, Jermain, you don't have to run today. You don't have to give today your all. And so I'm laying in the bed under my 1,000-count sheets, and I'm comfortable. And the reason why we get comfortable in life is because we never create an image of the person we want to become. See, you want to have an image of what you want to become. Who do you want to be? Where do you want to go? What do you want to have? What do you want to accomplish? You want to have an image. What do you want is the name of the game. What exactly is it that you're going after? What do you want? William James once said something so powerful. He said, if you wish to be rich, you will be rich. If you wish to be good, you will be good. If you wish to learn, you will learn. But only wish those things exclusively and not wish at the same time 100 other incompatible thoughts just as strongly. The main reason why you don't have what you want in life right now is because you're spending all your time at aimless things that have nothing to do with your purpose. So today I want you to make a decision, make a commitment with yourself. What is it that I want? That's a reason. Why is a purpose. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why do I get up every morning? Why do I work hard? See, here's something interesting that I discovered. Life, society, there's no demand for you to do well. There's no demand for you to stay in shape. Live a great life, create the life that you desire, the life that you want for your children. In fact, I once heard something so powerful. The author said, what you don't fix, your children will inherit. I thought that was pretty powerful. What you don't fix, your children will inherit. So this life that you want to design for yourself, you have to figure that out now. Why are you doing what you want to do? Think about it and where you want to be in the next few years of your life. So you have to create an image. What is it that I want? Why do I want what I want? In The Science of Getting Rich, Wallace Waddles said, in order for you to get to your next level in life, you have to grow at the level of where you are. You can't advance in your life until you grow at the level of where you are. Some of you have goals so high. They're so high. And what's happening is you're shooting so high for these goals and you keep missing the goals and you keep crashing down. And here's why. Your wings to fly are untrained. Before you can do something, you must be something. In order for you to be, in order for you to do, you must be. What do you want to be? This is a conversation, an inner conversation that you want to have with yourself every single morning. What is it that I want to be? What do I want to have? Why am I doing what I want to do? In 5 years, I want you to ask yourself this question. If I continue doing the same thing I'm doing every single day in 5 years, what results do I expect out of my life? Because 5 years are going to arrive. Everybody wants to be here in 5 years. Wouldn't you agree with me? Everybody wants to be here in 5 years. Wouldn't you agree with me? So the question I have for you is, if you continue doing the same thing over and over for the next 5 years, where would you be in life? Where would you be in life? What do you want? That's the name of the game. Why is the purpose? So you have to have a definiteness of purpose. What's the definiteness of purpose? What am I going after? What am I going after? Results. Here's the process of results. It's thinking, it's feeling, it's action, and then it's results. It's thinking, I think a thought, then I take an action on that thought, then, or there's a feeling, and then there's a result. That's how you trace everything back to your thinking. So if you want things to change in your life, there's no separation between you and your world. The change starts with you. That's what I had to deal with. At 25 years old, I had to first start with myself. I had to work on me before I started to get things to change on the outside. You have to work on you first before you can work on the outside. How many people want to change certain things in their life? How many people, by a show of hands, are meeting their goals every month? Why? Why? I'll tell you why. Because the image that you have to achieve your goals are not strong enough to pull you to their goal, to your goal. They're repelling you. You need some new goals. You need to stop tying your goals to things and start tying your goals to becoming. You tie your goals to money. You're tying your goals to a watch. You're tying your goals to clothes. You're tying your goals, but you're not tying your goals on becoming. People are so focused on having, but they're not focused on being. What do I become because of this? The demand here's the demand. Society, as I just talked about a while ago, it's not going to place a demand on you. The only place or the only person that will place a demand on you to achieve greatness, to achieve the life that you want to live, the life that you want to design, is you. Brian's not going to wake you up. They come in here, work extra hours, go the extra mile. Ariel's not going to wake you up, tell you to go the extra mile. That's a requirement of you to achieve your goals, to achieve your dream. So it's 3 months left. How many people have been waiting for January 1st to come so that they could just skip through the year? I have a client that we were on the phone and we were talking. I said, well, what do you want to accomplish? She said, well, first things first, I want to get up every morning at 5 a.m. That's hard for me. And I said, okay, great. So let's start tomorrow. So I started talking to her about it the next day. And she said, no, Jermain, you don't understand. I'm going to wait until everything is clear and then I'm going to start. Let me wait until Monday. And how many of us have been in that predicament where we know we're supposed to act right now, but we wait and we wait and we wait? It's called the law of diminishing intent. What we intend to do when the act is strong and we're motivated by it, if we don't act right away, the emotion diminishes. We won't be able to find it 6 weeks, 6 months from now. So whenever you want to do something, you have to act right away. What is it that you want to do? And just go. People are so consumed with the process. How is this going to work for me? I'll do it when I figure everything out. But if you're always dealing in the it's, it'll never be exactly the way you want it to be. So when you want to do something, do it. Act on it. See, when you don't act on something, it's called procrastination. And the moment you start procrastination, see, the problem is we don't know or we can't fathom what we interrupt by not acting right now. If I don't act and make the phone call today, I don't know what that causes me down the line. I'm just in here waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for a walk-in. I'm waiting by the sign out here for somebody to drive by and pick up a Honda Civic today. I'm waiting. And that's what most people do with their entire life. They're waiting for results. I'm waiting. I'm not creating, I'm waiting. I'm waiting on my dream. I'm waiting on my goals. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. The time to act is now. If you feel like you want to be the #1 salesperson, the #1 dealership in the country, the time to act is now. Set that goal. Stretch yourself. Who do you want to be in the process? What do you want to give? I was talking to Ariel this morning, and I gave him a story about my sons. I have 3 sons, 7, 6, and 3. And my middle son, Jaden, is always laughing at my youngest son, Jonathan. He's 3 years old. He just really started talking. And he's pronouncing words a little bit better, but, you know, he's falling, and he's not talking properly, and he's still a little clumsy, but he's getting it together. But my son, Jaden, is always laughing at me. And I'm talking to him. I'm like, Jaden, everything is not always funny. And while I'm talking to him, it dawned on me how we always laugh at failure. We always laugh at failure. And failure, interestingly, does not, or success, interestingly, does not depend on failure, or doesn't hinge on failure, which means you can keep failing over and over and over and over, and until you make the modification, you'll never be successful. And people are so comfortable with failing that it's okay, they're on cruise control. I'm fine with failing. And the problem is, most people, it's not that they fail in actually doing what they want to do, they actually fail in starting. And then they blame themselves for being a failure. This is why it's so powerful to take action right away. It's called action pronto. Do it. Most of you guys, you have it. You have the greatness in you. You have the ability to achieve everything and anything that you want to achieve deep down already inside. Every morning you get up, you say, I know I can do it. But when I get ready to do it, there's something that keeps stopping me. And the only thing that's stopping you is your self-imposed limitations. Who are you comparing yourself to? I'm running one morning, and I'm running on a bridge because I'm running over the 59th Street Bridge. And the guy doesn't know where I ran from. I'm like 6 miles in. And the guy comes from behind me, and I know he was chasing me. I knew it because I was in front of him. He comes running, and he goes, good morning. He passes me. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So immediately, my competitiveness said, I'm going to beat this guy to the end of the bridge. There's no way he's going to beat me. But what I discovered is you can't get rich in a competitive plane. You can only get rich in a creative plane. You can only achieve your dreams when you create, not compete. So if I would have went competing with him, it's a possibility I would have burned out. But here's what happened. My goal was larger than his goal. So because he passed me for a little while, here I am competing with somebody else that's not even going where I'm going, because I wound up getting in front of him. And by the time I was at the end of the bridge, I was already past him. I looked back, he was gasping for air. And that's what happens to us sometimes. We're taking our eyes off of what we want to accomplish just to see what's going on around us. And we're no longer focused. We no longer have the definiteness of purpose. We're no longer motivated to get up in the morning. We're no longer motivated to overcome objections. We're no longer motivated to make that extra phone call. We're no longer motivated to reach our results and our goals in the things that we said we would do at 4:45 in the morning. And here it is at the end of the month for the 6 straight months, I'm failing. And I'm okay with it because I'm on cruise control. As long as Ariel's doing 65 and I'm doing 66, I'm doing better than the next man. You have to create your life by design. The things that you want for your life and the goals that you want for you, they're not the goals for me. If she closes her eyes right now and starts to imagine the world that she wants to live in, I can guarantee you, I tell her it'd be nice, but it's not the world I want to live in. And most of us are spending time conforming. Rollo May said in A Man's Search for Himself, the opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice, it's conformity. And that's where many of us are. We're just conforming. What did you say you did last month? 20? If I do 21, I'll be better. I'm driving what these people are driving, shopping where these people are shopping, living how these people are living, doing what these people are doing. And ultimately, you'll find yourself in a position in life where you're doing stuff you just don't want to do, and you're not happy. That's why I'm a magnet to happiness, because I do the things to make me happy. I'm a magnet to peace because I give peace, and I know it. So you have to decide what you want. What is it that you really want? And I want you to really think about that. I give 12 hours a day at the dealership, and I'm not meeting my goals. So what exactly am I trading my time for? William E. Bailey, in his book, Rhythms of Life, had a powerful message A man asked the universe for more time. He said, universe, I need more time. How many of you guys have ever been in a position where you're like, you know what, I just need more time to do the things that I need to do? Anybody ever been there before? I just need a little bit more time. But the universe responded to this man and he said, you don't have any more time. The universe wants more of you. I can't give you a 25th hour. I can't give you a 27th hour. Everybody has the same 24 hours in a day to achieve their goals. It's whether you're going to get up and go after it and achieve your goal, or you're going to fall by the wayside. And one morning, I was running on Central Park West in the city. And on Central Park West, it's got some really great, expensive buildings. In fact, me and Mo is one of my clients. We were talking about Central Park West, and I think it was 25 Central Park West. 25 Central Park West has apartments in there, 9 million, 10 million, 2 bedrooms. And I'm running in the middle of the street, because it's early in the morning, but on one side of Central Park is wealth. On the other side of Central Park, people laying on benches with everything they got. One side of life is saying, you know what? I'm getting up every morning in spite of my circumstances, and I'm going to create the life I want to live. The other side of the street is saying, you know what? I'm going to get up, and these circumstances are so challenging, I'm going to wait for my life to change for things to get better. And it's apparent. See, the results in your life, every result that you have in life is all coming from inside. So the moment you start to work on yourself, the results in your life will change. Everybody's always trying to get to work on the things outside, but they never work on the things on the inside. So now you have people on one side of the spectrum impoverished. The other side of the spectrum, they're living, I'm not really sure the best life, but based on affording a home in this particular location, they're living a great life. And George Bernard Shaw once said, people are always blaming the circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people that get on in this world are the people that get up, they look for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, they make them. So here at Paragon Honda, we got 90 days to go. And circumstances they may not be what you want. But you can blame other people for the circumstances, or you can find a way to get up and create the circumstances that you want for yourself. How many people want to create some circumstances for yourself? Some better circumstances for yourself? How many people want to achieve their goals? Set a higher goal. Jim Rohn said something powerful one day. He said, set the kind of goal for what it will make of you to achieve it. Set the kind of goal for what it will make of you to achieve it, because you have to become more to achieve this goal. You're setting goals, and then when you look at how high or how far or how much work it's going to require you to achieve this goal, you drop it a little bit. You know what? 30 cars this month is a little bit too difficult for me. So I'm not going to go the extra mile. I'll just do 21 because, I'm comfortable there. That 40 number, yeah, I know I want a little bit extra money this month, but you know what? I'm comfortable at 20 because I've been comfortable at 20, and 20 is what I'm comfortable doing. Set the kind of goal for what it will make of you to achieve it. And you got to know that the goal that you want is going to require you to be something different. You can't remain the same. The circumstances you created with this level of thinking is not the same set of circumstances or the new set of circumstances you'll create with that same level of thinking. You got to change your thinking. You got to change your ideas. You got to change your philosophy. You got to change what you're reading. You got to change who you're around. You got to change who's influencing you. You're spending all day at the water cooler and got no deals. And then at the end of the month, you're asking yourself, I don't know why I'm not achieving my dreams. Create a new discipline for yourself. Make some sacrifices. People are always thinking that sacrifice is hard or discipline is difficult. It's not. It's just delaying what you want to do right now. It's called short-term pain for long-term gain. So pick up the phone today. Smile and dial. Get another extra customer in here. Go the extra mile. Overcome the objection. We all know what no means. The no means, guess what? You didn't give me the right amount of information. You didn't communicate with me properly. Overcome the objective. Napoleon Bonaparte said, when he was talking about accomplishing a war, he said, I see only my objective, the obstacles must give way. So whatever obstacles you got going on right now, focus on your objective. What's your objective? What is it that I want for myself? What do you want? That's the objective. The obstacles must give way. I talk to this, I work with Paragon Direct every week. Paragon Direct in the building. And I told this story to them, which was so interesting, about a check I got. Now, I work on commission too. And I receive checks every now and then, so I have to be modest and stuff like that sometimes. And so I got a check one day, and I went to deposit the check in the ATM machine. And when I got the receipt from the check, I noticed that the check said I had to wait a few days in order for the funds to be cleared. Now, based upon my circumstances at that particular time, I had some things that needed to be handled. That wouldn't have been handled because I had this delay at me putting this check in the bank. And so I'm saying to myself, you know what? I've called the bank before, and they released the funds the next day. This is one of those situations that I won't have the problem with. But unfortunately, this time, the check being released was on a holiday, so I didn't know how that was going to happen. So the next day, I called the bank, and I said, hi, this is Jermain. Nice to talk to you on the phone. I deposited a check yesterday in the bank, and it's not clear. Is there anything you can do for me? And the representative said, we'll check, Mr. Miller, but we'll have to call and verify the check. And I said, okay. Lady came back on the phone and said, unfortunately, this is one of those banks that does not clear or does not give us access to clear the check. I said to myself, wow, that's interesting. All right, no problem. So I hung the phone up. I picked the phone up again and I called right back. I said, hi, this is Jermain. I deposited a check in the bank the other day. There's a hold on the check, and I really would like my funds released. And the lady said, okay, Mr. Miller, we'll call and verify. And I said, okay, and I waited. Lady came back on the line. She said, I'm sorry, Mr. Miller, this is one of those banks that won't clear the check. I said, all right, hung the phone up. I picked the phone up again, called bank again. Hi, this is Jermain. I have a check in the bank, it didn't clear, and I want to know if somebody can help me. The lady said to me, the third time I called, based on the notes here, you just called 3 times. All the representatives told you no, and you're still calling. I said, well, yeah, I mean, I put a check in the bank, and I was just hoping that you could help me. Are you the person that can help me? She said, no, and hung the phone up. I said to myself, wait, this is my money. This is my money. And my money's being held. So I picked the phone up and called again. I said, hi, this is Jermain. I put a check in the ATM, and I was wondering if you could release the funds for me a little earlier. They said, Mr. Miller, you called here 4 times already. We see it in the notes. We're not going to do this anymore. You have to wait for the check to clear. So I said, well, when does the check clear? Because I knew it. It said a couple of days. The representative said, it's 10 days. I said, what? The ATM said 2. Now it's 10? Here's what happens. When the results or the goals that we're going after in life is not going the way we want them to go, we start worrying. And we start fearing. I don't have no control over what's happening, even though I'm going after my goals. I can't see this getting put together, so I quit. Met with a little resistance, I'm throwing in a white towel. It's done, this is not for me. I could have sat there that day and said, you know what, I'm gonna wait 10 days, whatever. But here's what I did. Sat down on the couch and I asked myself, what do you want? And I said, I want my funds to be released so that it can go to where it needs to go to, and I don't have to worry about it. That's what I want. And for 5 minutes, I sat there and closed my eyes and saw the money. Saw the money. And this is what I want you to do. Every morning you get up, I want you to start seeing yourself, the person you want to be, the results you want to have, the place you want to live, the car you want to drive, the clothes you want to walk in, the confidence you want to have, the happiness you want in your life, the relationships you want. You have to create that by imagination. So I sat there on the couch. And I said, I'm not going to get defeated by this temporary foolishness. I'm going to call them after the holiday. I'll give them some time to think about it. Now, here's what happened. Through the course of the time that I had to wait, I started getting afraid that the money wasn't going to happen. So I started acting that way. Fear. Have you ever closed your eyes and had an image of what fear looks like? Anybody ever see what fear looks like? There's no image of fear. Has anybody ever closed their eyes and saw an image of worry or anxiety? There is no image of it. But if you close your eyes and see an image of a Honda Civic, because here's why. The difference between mentally and spiritually is mentally, I know a thing and I can describe it. Spiritually, I have to become it. So you're becoming afraid of things that you have no control over. That's what was happening to me. So I got up and I said, you know what? I'm clearing my schedule. I'm not doing nothing because I just got to deal with this check. And I don't want to be worried. And I said, Jermain, you got to get yourself together. Continue acting the way you want to act in spite of your circumstances. It doesn't look the way you want it to look right now, but continue acting. You got to, as Henry David Thoreau once said, a man confidently advances in the direction of his dreams. He will meet with success unexpectedly in commonalities. You got to confidently advance. What is it that you want? You got to persist. If you're confidently advancing, you're persistent. So I said, life is the same way it is, and I'm getting my check cleared. I called them the next morning, and this time I had all the stuff already lined up because I knew. I said, how you doing? It's Jermain Miller. I deposited a check the other day, and the representatives told me that they wouldn't be able to verify the check through the other bank. However, I have a question for you. What bank was that check drawn out on again? I didn't have that question before because I wasn't persistent. I didn't think about what was going on. You gotta be conscious. You can have anything you want in life, but you gotta become aware. See, the difference between someone who makes $1 million a year and someone who makes $100,000 a year is their level of awareness. He knows he can make $1 million. You still need to figure that out here. So I was aware. Here's what I was aware. The money was mine already. When you know that what you want in life is already yours already, you'll persist. When it's a little bit difficult, I don't really know. My knees are buckling, but I knew the money was mine already, so I kept persisting. And that's what you got to do with your life. When you define what it is that you want, you persist in it. Persist, persist, persist. I'm going to sell 40 cars this month. I'm going to persist. I'm going to sell 50 cars next month because I'm going to persist. Because I'm confidently walking in the direction of my dreams. That's what I'm doing. Here's what success is. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal, a worthy ideal. You have to have something that's worthy. And that day, what was worthy of me was my money. So I asked them, what bank was this on? They told me the bank, and I said, isn't this interesting? The bank is on a corner of my house. If I walk into the bank and put a teller on the phone, and they spoke to you to verify the money, would you be able to release my money that way? They said yes. I walked in the bank. Actually, I didn't walk in the bank. Kicked the door open. I walked in the bank. So I was confident. Open the door. And I walked in the bank and I said, Miss Teller, can you do me a favor? I got a check here that needs to be cleared. I know the money's mine already. It's mine. The name is on the check. I need you to verify something for me. You see me in confident. You're too weak with this stuff. You're too weak with your dreams. You're too weak with these goals. They're low goals. And you keep hitting these low goals and you're comfortable. And the moment Brian says stretch, you're like, oh, such a challenge. Let me stay down here. But I kicked in the door confidently. Miss Teller, can you cash my check? Can you clear my check for me? She said, I don't know why they didn't do it anyway. So now I get Chase on the line. Chase goes, hey, listen. We don't need to verify the funds with the teller. We got to call the person who wrote the check. I said, are you kidding? I wasn't prepared for that. But at that particular time, I knew what my outcome would eventually be. So I was okay with it. And eventually they went on to cash the check. Now, I was behind on time with the rest of my day. And I want you guys to understand this. Just because something does not happen when you think it should happen does not necessarily mean it's not going to happen. But you got to persist. You got to have an image. James Allen said this in As a Man Thinketh. He said, your circumstances may be uncongenial, but they shall not long remain if you but perceive an ideal and strive to reach it. So because your circumstances aren't the way they want to be at this particular time, they won't remain that way. You just got to have something that's larger than you so you can strive to reach it. So I want everybody today, at the end of the month, to focus on not just the end of the month, but the end of the year. This is challenging to me. I took this on. And every week or every day, me and Ariel is talking and talking and talking. And the first question I asked Ariel when we first started working is, what do you want? He said, I want to live a better life. I want to somehow work, make sure the dealership becomes number one, spend time with my family, and don't feel like I'm overwhelmed with life. But he didn't have that defined. You need to define the life you want to live. And the moment he said, I want the dealership to be number one, I said, you got to focus on the dealership being number one, not focus on how many cars you want to sell. Because you can sell 600 this month, and the next dealership sells 601. You was focused on being competitive and not creative. Focus on what you want. What is it that you want for yourself, for your life, for your family, for your goals? Do something that will cause you to stretch. In Africa, I'm going to leave you guys with this morning. In Africa, they take these little beasts from when they were born, and they're called elephants. And they take these elephants and they let them run wild in the fields. And at the end of the day, they take these small little elephants and they tie them up to a wooden stake in the ground in the chain. Now, when the elephant becomes an adult elephant, he can pull a locomotive car with people on it. But for some strange reason, this adult elephant has been conditioned to be chained to this chain that's only stopping him from moving with a wooden stake in the ground, will only go 3 feet, and once the chain pulls it, he goes back. This strong beast that can pull a locomotive car is afraid of a chain that is tied to a wooden stake in the ground. I want you to ask yourself this question. What chains do I have in my life that is causing me not to be the greatest version of me? What is that chain? In fact, what is that wooden stake because I keep getting pulled back to it. I want you to really ask yourself that question. Why am I not happy? Why do I get up every day and I'm okay with these results? Why do I continue doing what I'm doing? Every single thing, every time I want to do it, I get pulled back. It's time to break these chains that you've got over your mental, over your physical. Procrastination. Since tomorrow I'm going to the gym, tomorrow came, I never made it to the gym. Putting off goals until next year, till the weather changes. The sun comes up, everything will be okay. Most people get up every morning in neutral. They're either positive or negative. I got no money, I'm negative. Everything is okay, I'm positive. You gotta define your life. What do you want? And then the purpose is, if you take care of you for me, I'll take care of me for you. And that should be the motto of the dealership. Because collectively as a unit, if Ariel takes care of Ariel for him, and Jermain takes care of Jermain for me, we'll ultimately take care of the dealership for the dealership. And that's what it's all about here. Individually hitting your numbers, individually hitting your goals, so that the collectiveness of the dealership continues to advance and progress. So now we need to go home today and write down some new ideas, some new goals. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I happy about what's going on with me right now? Am I happy about my money? Am I happy about what I'm driving? Am I happy overall? And start doing some new disciplines in the next 30 days. Warren Buffett once said, the greatest investment you can make is the investment in yourself. And he wasn't talking about shoes, clothes, bags, art, real estate. He's talking about the investment of your mind. What are you reading? Who are you around? What are you listening to? Who is your influence? Who are you sharing your ideas with that's not actually positive? And so what happens is I share my ideas with Luis, and Luis isn't all that positive. And then Luis says, you can't achieve that, or why are you doing that? And then I go, yeah, you know, you're right. But Luis doesn't really want to hold me accountable, because if she holds me accountable, then that means I'm going to give her a mirror reflection of her not achieving your dreams. So she's got to get around somebody different, and so do I. That's not just here at the dealership. I asked somebody the other day, how are you doing with yourself? They said, oh, my life is great, but work is horrible. You can't separate your environments. Everywhere you are, that's your environment. Everywhere you are, that's where your environment is. So most people spend all day running around in circles on the inside, but they're standing still on the outside because they never defined what it was that they really want. So I want you guys today, create an image. Create an image of this dealership. Create an image of every day you walk into this dealership, I expect to sell X amount of cars. I expect to help X amount of customers. I expect to provide X amount of family members with a new vehicle. And because I'm confidently advancing in the direction of my dreams, I'm confidently advancing in the direction of my goals, the universe has nothing else to do but give way to the things that I want and the things that I desire for myself. So the next 90 days, I want you to do something different. Do something different and write it down. Do something different. We overestimate our ability to achieve greatness, or we overestimate everybody else, and we underestimate ourselves. We're spending all day long underestimating ourselves, but I'm overestimating. Man, you know, Ariel, he's a good salesperson. But we never talk about that about ourselves. Now, I don't know how you have those nice shoes, man, that nice car and stuff like that. I wish I could be like you one day. We overestimating and underestimating ourselves. Next 90 days, I want you to get a goal. Not a goal that you can hit, not a checklist item, not something you know how to do. If you're only selling 10 cars a month, set a goal of doubling. If you're only selling 20 cars a month, set a goal to go to 30. And you hold that requirement for yourself. Go the extra mile. Stay a little later, because this is your dream. Nobody's gonna come wake you out of your bed, get you off your couch, and say, you know what, Ariel, you're not living your dream. Come on, man, we gotta go live our dreams together. This is your life. This is your commitment. This is your opportunity. Design your life. Thank you, Paragon Honda.